trophy. This is an endurance event we have never seen in Canada. It's only been seen once in the world. It started in Austria. Last winter, we have one of the competitors that was there, Mitch Hewitt. You'll see him coming up. And tell you what, let's just go right into it. We've got 4 events. This is an endurance event. Typically, you see these events individually. You'll see a stock saw or a standing block, or an underhand, or a single buck saw. This time we are doing all 4 non-stop. So the competitors have to have basically a strategy. Do they pace themselves or do they go flat out? I'm going to tell you how this is going to go. It's going to start with the stock saw event. I'm going to run right over here. Here we go. Stihl MS 660. The saw will be running on the ground idling. The competitor must pick up the saw and make 1 complete disc within a 2-inch line. A lot of opportunity for error or disqualifications, and we will see the head judges keeping a close eye on them. They will put the stock saw down. They will shut it off. Safety, the saw must be shut off. Then they will go to the underhand chop. They will stand on this 13-inch aspen log with a 6-pound razor sharp axe. They will chop halfway through, turn to the backside, finish it off. Must be complete. Do not cut through your footholds, these flat spots here. That's a disqualification as well. Focus. Now, they move in to the single buck cut. It's a 1-man cross cut, 6 to 6.5 foot long. Again, razor sharp teeth. They must make a complete disc. 1 cut through a 16-inch white pine log. This is where the lactic acid will be building up. You will see the competitor is struggling at this point. It's called the misery whip, and you will find out why. Finally, 1 more, the standing block chop. Difficult event. This is 11-inch aspen log. They will have a separate axe waiting to take care of this log. This is when you will see the best of the best show their true colors. They will finish when this block is severed. The time will stop. And then, if you're the unlucky guy, you've won, and you've got to go again just a few minutes later. All right, let's get going here. Let's bring out our top 8 competitors. Number 8, from Keswick Ridge, New Brunswick, coming in at $185. He's 6'1". He is our Eastern Rookie Champion. Let's give it up for Ben Cumberland. Number 7. From Truro, Nova Scotia, he is the NSAC coach. He's coached the men and women's division. They are undefeated for 2 years running. Let's give it up for Scott Reed. All right, this guy's one of the best single buck sawyers in the country. You're going to see him when he gets on this single buck log. If he is behind in the race, he's going to change that right around. Here we go. Give it up from Memricook, New Brunswick, Mario Bork. And number 5, big guy here. Big firefighter. He's one of the best in the country. He's actually top 5 in Canada in the Firefighters Combat Challenge. This guy holds records. Marcel Dupuis. And from St. Gilles, Quebec, one of the best crosscut filers in the world, best single bucker or best bow sawyer in Canada right now, Donald Lambert. And just down the road from Donald, he's another crosscut filer. He is actually ranked the best single bucker in Canada, J.P. Mercier. This gentleman was a standing block chop cutter for the Canadian team last year in Lillehammer, Norway. One of the best choppers in the country, Cecil Starr. And your number 1 ranked competitor, originally from Queensland, Australia. He holds 9 world championships in the springboard chop. Let's give it up. He's in Chase, BC right now. Mitch Hewitt. All right, we've got judges and scorekeepers as well. Head scorekeeper will be Janet Walker right there. Assistant head judge Jonathan Russell. And our head judge Roger McPhee. And I want to give a shout out as well. You're going to see stage crew, a lot of guys that don't get enough credit. The stage crew, they're going to be cleaning up, they're going to be changing blocks, and we're getting a lot of help from the West Coast Lumberjack show over there. Their next show will be tomorrow at 1:45. Let's give a big round of applause to them.
Timers ready? Competitors ready? 15-second warm-up.
Excited? Are you excited?
Hands on the wood. Get set.
All right, looks like two clean discs from both competitors, and it's Ben with a two-hit advantage on Mitchell Hewitt from Chase, BC. Well, watch Mitchell Hewitt, the precision. This man rarely misses a hit. He's not the biggest competitor out here, but pound for pound, he hits harder than any competitor in the world. And it's Mitch Hewitt, but Ben is right with him. Ladies and gentlemen, the rookie is not intimidated one bit going against Hewitt. Mitch Hewitt getting the bottom of that log out again. These logs can look awful big at this point of the race. And there's Mitch Hewitt, and he is going to the misery whip. It looks like Ben is just about to drive that log off. Mitch Hewitt, this is when the lactic acid is building up. Ben, not far behind. He's got plenty of energy left, and he's getting into that single buck. Beautiful technique. You can see the noodles pouring out of these logs. These are peg and raker saws, about $1,500 each. This is when you see a true chopping champion. Mitch Hewitt is going to be opening up 2 hits. It's a pattern. 2 hits up, 2 hits down. And Mitch is getting the big wood out. He's got about 8 hits in Ben Cumberland. Ben is off. And there he's getting that axe. A lot of competitors have chosen to use a lighter axe going into the standing block chop to be able to keep the muscles going. Using a big axe and sometimes penetrate the log farther, but again, that is a lot of weight to be throwing around at this point of the race. Mitch Hewitt looking right into that scarf. What a beautiful cut and precision. There it is, coming all the way from Chase, BC. Mitchell Hewitt looking real good. And if you could see this scarf, it is a picture-perfect scarf Mitch Hewitt has cut. You could put a straight edge on that. And let's keep going. Let's keep going for Ben Cumberland. He's taking a big front out. He's not going to have a whole lot of work in the back side of this log. Let's keep going for Ben. Very difficult event on its own. Can you believe doing 3 events and then having to cut the standing block chop? Let's keep going, Ben. He's going to be driving that log off any second. This guy, he's only 19 years old. He's got a huge future in this sport. And one more hit for Ben Cumberland. There he goes.
Timers ready? Competitors ready? Warm up, guys. 15 seconds. Hands on the wood. Get set.
Huh? The hashtag is Timber Report?
Yeah. All right, let's give it up. They went identical into those underhand chops. JP was fast to the wood. He actually hovered the saw there for a split second, lining up, deciding it is not worth racing it too much. It's got a safe cut. And they turned identical. A small hesitation by JP. He got his balance, and he is breathing, and he told me he's just going to hard hit this, keep breathing, and put the hits in. The harder the hit is, the more accurate you will be. And this axe is cutting. Mario right there, they have put the bottom hits in, and JP, the top is broken, the bottom is broken, he's putting that axe down, and here comes the misery whip. This is where Mercier will need to pull the lead in. Mario Bork struggling with that underhand. JP has put 2 strokes in, and he is at the halfway mark of this log. If you could see the nor'easter of chips coming off of this saw on every stroke, JP's actually pulled the saw right out of the cut. That's a 6-foot saw. No panic at all. And they are going, this is what I predicted, they are going head-to-head in the standing block chop. Bork has got 2 hits in on JP. JP just wants to hit his marks. Beautiful. A slow, accurate hit is what they are looking for. They have to keep breathing. This is again when the lactic acid is building up. Bork has turned already. Has he turned early? Is what we are wondering right now. We will only know when it comes to the small wood in the backside. Mercier is bringing it home right now. He has to lay into this. Let's get behind him. These guys are struggling right now. This is why we call it the Champions Trophy. This is endurance. Bork is driving. Has that log been cut all the way in the front? Both logs severed on the near side. Both competitors trying to find those last few ounces of energy. And it's going to be Mercier. What a comeback. And Bork is only 3 hits behind. This is what I predicted. Both competitors.
Competitor ready. Warm them up. Hands on the wood. Get set.
Boy, a mirror image coming off the stock saw. Small hesitation by Donald Lambert, just getting his protective apparel off, just getting his eye protection and the ear protection off, making it a whole lot easier to cut that underhand. Donald Lambert picking up the pace. He's got a heck of a pace, but the thunderous drives by Marcel Dupuis. This guy is into the back. I thought he might pace himself, but he is not. He told me he's going to race each event like it is all on his own. The top is broken, the middle is broken, now the bottom is severed. He puts that axe in the log. That it will be a legal cut. He is off into the misery whip. That single buck saw just powering through it. This guy is bringing it home. Donald Lambert into the top wood. This race is not over. Dupuis is off, and he's going into the standing block chop. Very little hesitation. This is when the accuracy can be compromised because of the lactic acid buildup. There's Donald Lambert. Only a few hits behind. He gets that axe. This guy, one of the best standing block choppers, always accurate. Dupuis has chosen to stay in the front of that log, and he must have put a monster front end to that. And he's going to go 2 hits up, 2 hits down, opening up a little narrow in the back, which tells me that he put a big front end, and he's having to flatten out a little bit. He's lost that slope. He's going to have to drive it off a little flat. That log is shaking, and it's Dupuis bringing it home. Donald Lambert not far behind at all. He's only going to be about 6 hits behind. And Donald Lambert, such a tough competitor. This log is shaking, one in the guts, and it's going to go. There it is.
Competitor ready?
What?
Warm up.
Oh, I'm like, where's my phone?
Hands on the wood. Get set.
Well, Ben Cumberland was into that log first, but JP caught up and came out the bottom of that log in the stand. And look at the big slab coming up. Ben Cumberland is bringing a pace we did not see in the first round. Holy cow, this guy is throwing the axe out, pulling it in. He is a man possessed on that far stand. And JP has actually turned. JP chose to actually leave his ear protection on. He probably is sick of listening to me, but I'm going to say it anyway. He's removing the big wood. His accuracy is beautiful. He's using one of the axes. He actually ground himself, tested it in these logs. this morning. Most competitors will bring about a dozen axes and test them out, see which one is cutting the best. And Ben, oh, they came off identical. There's that axe in both logs. We are legal, and they are going into the single buck identical. It's actually Ben Cumberland with 2 strokes into the single ahead of JP, and he is going to need it. JP, very few competitors in the world can sever a log in as few strokes as Mercier. And he has about 3 more strokes to go. There's 1, that big pull, 2, 1 big pull, and that log's going to come off. There's 3, that's that 3rd stroke. And Mercier is actually looking at that disc. So I think I may have cut a knot in there. It actually looks like some compression wood. And Mercier, knowing he's probably going to have to be the one to refile that if need be. JP's going to catch his breath. Ben Cumberland, the far side, cutting beautiful. Standing right up, looking into that cut. JP just wants to cut his lines there, make sure it's a clean cut. The cleaner the cut, the faster it will go. All right, let's keep them going. JP's got to bore that front out. There you go, JP. Just catch your breath. Make sure your accuracy. Again, a very dangerous event. They are wearing shin protection on their shin and their feet. There's actually a chainmail sock they wear. And Ben really driving this log off, and the look on his face, boy, you got to give it to him. He put everything he had into those last drivers. He was possessed in that standing block chop. Ben Cumberland really making a statement in this race. He ripped into that underhand, cut a beautiful single buck, and was just grimacing driving that standing. And there's JP.
Competitor ready, warm up, 15 seconds. Hands on the wood. Get set.
Boy, again, mirror image coming off that stock saw. Donald Lambert, he's got 2 hits in on Scott Reed. Scott Reed got a good log. The chips just coming out of that, actually almost slapped it out. Donald Lambert, very accurate. Donald's timing is very good in this log. He brings that log, brings the axe in, snaps it, gets this acceleration, and it creates a slicing motion. And that does not hit the wood, it slices the wood. Donald Lambert has just mastered that swing. And he's looking right into that log, so accurate. Scott Reed, not far behind him at all. Getting that wood out, and there's Donald Lambert. He's put that axe into the log. It is a safe cut, and here's one of these saws. I guarantee he filed that saw himself. Donald Lambert hung up a little bit. Boy, and it's tough. It's like hitting a speed bump when your saw hangs up like that. Scott Reed want to get that axe in the wood, and he's going to be into the single buck. Donald Lambert, 1 more stroke off. Boy, a beautiful cut by Lambert. We may see him on the Canadian team in Germany in October. He may be representing for Canada the way he cut that single buck off. And Donald Lambert again cutting a beautiful standing, throwing that axe out and dragging it in. One of the most accurate cutters in the business. And there goes Scott Reed in that single buck. He's about 10 hits behind. Donald just turning. And Scotty again just looking to finish the event, finish strong, put up a good standing block. Again, there's a lot of tournaments left in this year. It's early in the summer. Just think about this sometimes as a practice round. Scott Reed getting a huge swing, driving that log home, and there's Donald Lambert cutting a beautiful standing block and resting. Oh, you just see Donald just gasping for breath. All right, let's stick with Scott Reed. He's put a huge front in this log, and he's determined to finish this event. He's just got a mice more than halfway through. He's going to put 3 hits up. Keep breathing, Scotty. We're all behind you. You're only a few seconds away. He's going to just work on his accuracy. That's beautiful. He throws the axe right down to the stage and brings it up. Just a beautiful slope he has. There you go. Had to roll it in a little bit. He's following his lines. This log is going to come off in about 2 down hits. Scotty just keeping breathing. Just 1 hit on the far side. It just held on the far side. There it is, Scott Reed! What a great performance.
pictures of them and then it's like so they watch. We can just remember. 239,505. 239,505.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
505.
But Mitch Hewitt with just a slight advantage coming off of that stock saw and no hesitation at all. This guy, and he's picking up a speed here. This is a speed we did not see from Mitch Hewitt in the first round. He's bringing it home. He knows that Marcel Dupuis got the best of him time-wise. Mitch Hewitt putting 3 drivers and turning. Mario Bork just about to turn. This wood looks firm to me, which gives the advantage to Hewitt. He's used to chopping very firm wood. And he's going 1, 2, and there's that log. And he's playing it safe. That axe is in now. Now this is one of the tougher events for Mitch, but he gets such a strong lead in these chopping events that he doesn't have to put up a world record time in the single. And this is a beautiful cut from Mitch Hewitt. I've watched him progress over the years in the single buck saw, and I would say this is one of the best cuts he has ever put up, other than that small hang there. Beautiful, very technical. Here's why he has won the 15-inch World Championship standing block in Sydney, Australia, because of this technique right here. He's beaten 300-pound competitors, and I watched it happen. And this guy just putting a beautiful scarf in, and he's going to put 2 hits up. He put an insurance policy, a 1 hit up and a 1 hit down on the far side, making sure that wood is completely cut. So when he wants to drive it in the back, it comes Mario Bork, just getting done with that single buck cut, and he's got that axe, and Mitch Hewitt is off. Unbelievable. I cannot believe how fast, and he did not slow down. He's told me before, the more these events go on, the more he comes to the party, and he just looked like he found another gear. And Marcel Dupuis is looking on saying, how am I going to beat this guy? Well, Marcel Dupuis as well has another gear that he can find. And let's bring it home. Mario Bork, let's give it up for him. He's on the far, there he is on the far side. He's taking the small wood out, and he's putting a huge front into that standing block chop. He's only a few seconds away from being done with this standing block. It's an 11-inch log. It looks small when you start. It looks big at this point. And just getting that big wood out is the tough part. He's got good slope. Mario Bork always good with his slope. You're looking for about a 45-degree slope optimum to let these axes penetrate. They're about 14 degrees. You literally can shave with this axe. 1 more hit on the far side. There he goes. Let's give it up for Mario Boy. He take over.
Driver ready. Competitor ready. Warm up 15 seconds.
Hand is sticking to the paper.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
Well, that was, I tell you, Marcel Dupuis was into that stock saw cut before Cecil, but Cecil just had the ear for that saw, let the RPMs do the work, and he came out the bottom. He had about 2 hits in this underhand on a stick there by Marcel Dupuis. And it's Marcel around first, just about 1 hit behind Cecil. These guys are digging in. I just cannot believe how much they are not leaving anything behind. They are going to be exhausted going into the standing block. A small stick, and there goes Marcel. They're going to be stroke for stroke in this single block. Then it's Cecil Starr and 1 stroke in. But it's Dupuis hitting the midsection. This is going to be within 1 or 2 strokes at the bottom of this slog. It's Dupuis has caught up. He's putting that saw down, and he's going to get in this standing block. He's going to need it, because here comes the best standing block cutter in Canada on the East Coast, Cecil Starr. He's only 2 hits behind Marcel Dupuis. Cecil's opened up a big chip, and he's just going to bore it in. Dupuis is around first. And Cecil Starr taking a huge front out. He's going to have nothing to do in the backside of this log. Marcel Dupuis getting the big one out. Here comes Cecil Starr on the far stand. There's those big down hits we talked about. And it's Dupuis driving it off. There it is, the big fist pump in the air. And it's only 3, 4, 5 hits behind. We knew this would...
Competitors ready. Warm them up. 15 seconds. Hurry up. Hands on the... Get set.
Well, I tell you, that was the fastest stock saw of the day right there. Mario Bork just put up. He was into that wood in under a second and cut it incredibly fast. Stihl Star is about 3 hits behind, and believe me, that does not phase this guy who's got one of the fastest hit speed in the business. And Stihl Star, boy, he scraped the ceiling on that top hit. He just reached so high, and he's opening up big in the back. Usually say hit hard the first 4 hits. Hit them hard and slow, and then you can wind up after that. And Stihl said, this axe is cutting. Mario Bork is right with him. I actually think Stihl Star, holy cow, did he catch up and take a lead. This guy is on a mission right now. I'm only about 8 feet from him, and I can hear him breathing. He is breathing like crazy, stroking that saw. It's a full 6-foot saw. A small hang right there, and there's Mario Bork. This guy's one of the fastest single buckers in the business, and he's running a Mercier saw, a big heavy plate. Stihl Star ran a lighter saw going with the pace. Mario Bork, very few strokes with that heavy saw with a big belly. Stihl Star, 2 hits up. He wants to get that big wood out, and he's releasing the energy into that. Oh, one little scoop there. He had the presence of mind to take it over, and this guy, you would have never thought. He's raced 3 races so far. The perfect accuracy of this standing block cut. It is, you could put a straight edge on these up hits and down hits. Stihl Star is cutting it beautiful. Mario Bork starting to get the big wood out of the front of that log. Stihl Star is, now he's winding it up. Stihl Star knowing he's got 2 more hits and he can crack a beer. There we go. Stihl Star, the man that got the wood, the man that blew a flat tire on the way here. He's lost 10 pounds preparing, and there he is, just gasping for breath. That's one of the best finishes I have ever seen. And Mario Bork, let's stay with him. Let's stay with him now. He's just getting the big wood out of the back. He's got a big front end. And these guys are going to rest. They're going to watch the final race in just a few minutes between Mitch Hewitt and Marcel Dupuis. Mario Bork, such a strong single butt cut to get him back in the race, but just could not keep up with the speed of Stihl Star in that standing block. Now that's why Stihl Star represented Canada last year in Lillehammer, Norway. It's a standing block cutter, and there he is.
I should get the stock saw.
Competitors ready. Warm them up. Hands on the wood. Get set.
It was Marcel Dupuis just besting Hewitt coming out of that stock saw. He had about 2 hits on Hewitt. And look at the snap Hewitt has. This is the Mitch Hewitt that's very scary. He's very fast. Marcel Dupuis, only 1 hit behind. What a beautiful turn by Dupuis. He probably gained that hit that he lost just on the speed of his turn. Mitch Hewitt is looking right down that log. 3 hits, drivers, put that log in. And hit. Now this is going to be close. Mitch Hewitt will need to use that technique that J.P. Mercier was just coaching him. Here comes Marcel Dupuis. He hung up in the bottom third of the log, but Mitch Hewitt right there. Oh, Marcel Dupuis' log just a little loose. Hewitt with 1 hit on. They are both coming into the big wood. They're removing the big wood. Here comes Mitch Hewitt. That bad ankle not bothering him. He's putting 3 hits up in the front, and he's going around first. He's got a beautiful scarf, just like Stihl Star. Marcel Dupuis, a huge slab, laying big horsepower hits into the backside of that log. Hewitt is going to be bringing it home with the drives right now. This is going to be close. It's Hewitt. Oh, it's a hang right there. Oh, was that close? It was only 3 hits behind. And Marcel Dupuis just catching his breath. and I think he backed off a little bit. He took about one extra hit, and what a close race. Mitch